Hey guys. So I finally came across the Wet n Wild Flights of Fancy collection, so I'm going to show you today what I bought from that collection. And yeah, I hadn't seen it anywhere, and I don't usually buy a lot of limited edition products anymore. I used to years ago, but I don't really buy that many limited edition things anymore. But Wet n Wild is the exception to the rule because I love their limited edition collections, and you just can't beat it for the price. And you know, sometimes they can be hit and miss, but that's half the fun of it, is trying to figure out what you think is going to be good, or what do you want, what don't you want. So I prefer to buy it in store for that reason. That way I can actually see it in person, because sometimes photographs don't do things justice, or vice versa. Sometimes things look better in photographs than they actually are. So what I ended up getting, I knew I wanted the Pro blush brush because I already have one of the eye brushes that are in the permanent line. You can only get those on the Wet n Wild website as far as I know. But they released a blush brush from that line, and it has a purple handle. And I said, oh my God, that is so beautiful. I love how they have the indentation there where you put your finger when you're holding it to give you like the exact right angle and everything. But I have been really enjoying this, and this is maybe my favorite. Yeah, this is my favorite thing that I bought from the collection. I also bought the 3 eyeshadow palettes. The one that I'm wearing today is called Stop Ruffling My Feathers. So that's what I have on my eyes today. And this one has a copper shade for the eyelid, and then it has an orange or a dark peach for the crease. It has like a light peach or a peachy beige for the brow bone highlight, and then it just has a either a taupe or a brown transition shade, I would say. I'm going to go with brown. So I just use them the way they're laid out in the palette with the words associated with them. Sometimes I will mix and match palettes, or I'll use them in a different arrangement, but today I just decided to go with what they had laid out there for their instructions, and I think it looks pretty. It's a nice sort of subtle look. I could have gone heavier with the transition shade, but I just decided not to. I've been into more of a softer overall look with my eyes lately, although next week I have a tutorial or a look get ready with me that I'm sort of planning on doing that's going to be just the opposite of a soft look. But anyways, what do I think about this palette? I think that these 3 shades here were fantastic, but I had a hell of a time with the eyelid shade. I had to keep packing it on and on and on. It didn't want to blend, and it seemed like, yeah, that was the main problem, is it didn't want to blend. I kept trying to put it on my lids, and it just went on patchy and didn't blend well. So I was pretty disappointed with the eyelid shade, but the other 3 shades were fine. I had no issues with them. But the overall look came out good, and that's all that matters to me, because these eyeshadow palettes are only $2.99. So, you know, for $2.99, I don't expect it to be the best formula in the world, but that's how I felt about that. And then the other 2 palettes I actually haven't tried yet, because I bought so much makeup lately that I only do 1 look a day. So it's hard to, you know, try to use everything. So I haven't got a chance to use these other 2 yet. This one is called Flock Party, and that burgundy shade that says eyelid is just stunning, gorgeous. I love those kind of shades. And then for the crease, they give you a gold. The brow bone is sort of a peachy shade, and the transition is also a peach, but the brow bone peach is a cooler peach, if there is such a thing, because peach isn't really a cool color, but a pinky peach, we'll say. And the transition shade is more of an orangey peach. I'm tilting it around so that you can see it from different angles and lighting, because depending on how I hold it, it's going to look different. Okay, there we go. That's the most accurate representation of it. So haven't used that yet, but interesting combination there with putting the burgundy with peaches. This is what I love about Wet n Wild. I've been collecting these palettes of theirs, permanent and limited edition, for many years now. And when I look at all the palettes, because I've saved them all, even when they get old, I hang on to them, and I don't necessarily use the super old ones anymore because, you know, when things get to be a certain age, you get a little bit nervous about using it, even if it is powder. But I still like to just look at them sometimes. And, you know, when I look at the entire collection overall, of all the collections, I should say, of the eyeshadow palettes, they have never done the same thing twice. And I'm wondering how much longer they can go on doing that and be like original with every single color palette layout. So yay for creativity and originality, because some companies just do the same things over and over again, and that's boring. You know, it's like, what would I want to buy that for? I already have it, you know? So I'm glad that Wet n Wild just keeps doing original things and creative things, you know, like putting colors together that you wouldn't normally think of. Okay, and the last one is called Hasta La Costa, baby. And that's what this looks like. So they've got a vibrant teal shade for the eyelid. They've got a purple for the crease. They've got a pale gold for the brow bone. And then the transition is a warm light brown or a warm dark beige. Yeah, one of the two. So that's what that looks like, and I haven't gotten a chance to use this one either. But, so how these other two will perform, I don't know, but you know what? We can maybe get an idea from the swatches, and I say that because, like I was saying in my video yesterday, or was it the day before, that how things swatch do not always indicate how they're going to perform. But let's try it just to see. So let's start with the Flock Party. Okay, so those all appear to be okay. Okay, so not bad, not bad. The lightest shade, you know, isn't as noticeable, but you wouldn't expect it to be because it's a really pale, like peachy shade. Okay, so the next one is Hasta La Costa, baby. And let's try that one. Okay, so the transition shade is like a beigey color, so that's probably not gonna show up too well. Okay, not bad, not bad. I didn't do a full swatch with that highlight shade right there, but you can see it on my hand, so that's a good sign. And then the transition shade didn't swatch quite as nicely, but the colorful shade swatched really well. As I was wiping the swatches off my hand, the finger that I used to swatch the teal shade, I can't really get all the teal off my finger. So when you use that palette, make sure that you use plenty of eyeshadow primer, because you could get staining especially since that's the shade that they recommend for the eyelid, you could end up with some staining issues. So yeah, make sure you use plenty of primer, and if you have more than one eyeshadow primer, make sure you use one of the better, like thicker ones that you have. Okay, and even though I'm wearing it, let's swatch Stop Ruffling My Feathers. Let's swatch it anyway, even though I'm wearing it. Okay, these are kind of on the light side. Okay, so I can see them though, but this is the crease shade right here. This is the lid shade that I had a tough time getting it to show up. I kept packing it on and packing it on. The brow bone highlight shade is just is stunning. Really, really pretty. And then that's the transition shade right there. So plenty of pigmentation. Didn't have any issues blending that or anything. But yeah, that lid shade I had some trouble with. But I still think that, you know, these palettes are such a bargain for $2.99 each. And I don't think I told you what I paid for the brush. The brush was $7.99, which that brush is well worth it. I didn't get any of the other products, and I'll tell you why. I didn't get the Photo Focus Primer Water Spray because I've had spray primers in the past, and I do actually like them, but I don't feel as if they're as effective as the type of primer that comes in a bottle or a tube. I feel like those are a bit more effective as far as doing what a primer should do, and that is make your foundation go on nice and stay nice throughout the day. Primer waters are just easy, and I think that's why people like them. Sometimes they smell good, but they're not really, they don't work as well as a primer that comes in a tube or a bottle. So I didn't get that. I didn't get the lip scrubs. There are two of them. There's a citrus and a watermelon. I was going to get at least one of them, but when I found the display, someone had opened one, and when I saw that the safety seal was broken on it, I thought, well, it's already open, so once it's open, it can't be opened again, you know what I mean? So I opened it up, and I smelled it, and it smelled, I don't remember if it was the citrus or the watermelon one that had been opened, but it smelled very like fake artificial smell. And I was very disappointed with the way that it smelled, because with lip scrubs, that's half the fun, is that they come in like luscious scents that smell really good, and that's part of the experience. So I thought if I didn't like the way it smelled, then I wasn't going to get it. And then the other one wasn't open, so I didn't open it. I just left it, you know, so that someone else could buy it and have it not be opened. So I didn't get either one of the lip scrubs. And then there were 3 blushes. Those I was kind of on the fence about. They were pretty, but they were just too similar to things that I already had in my collection. That I don't tend to buy a ton of blushes because I feel like you don't really need that many blushes, because blushes seem to come in very basic colors most of the time. And the blushes that were in this collection, there were 3. There was a peach, a bright pink, and what was the other one? I think the other one was a coral. But, you know, I have very similar colors in my collection already. And they did seem like they had a really pretty finish to them. So I may not have that exact shade in that exact finish in my collection, but I just decided to pass on the blushes. I've got so many blushes now that I just don't feel like there was anything unique enough to pick up any of those. And then there were 5 different lip glosses. I'm not a lip gloss person because I have long hair, and when I put on a lip gloss, the second I step out the door, the hair goes across the lip gloss, and then it gets in my hair, and my hair's all sticky, and then Sometimes when you're trying to pull the hair off the lip gloss, it streaks across your face. It's too messy. Maybe if I had short hair, I would feel differently about lip gloss, but they drive me crazy for that reason. So I very rarely buy lip glosses. I did buy that one from Shop Miss A because I wanted to try it because it was a brand that I had never tried and it was something different. But honestly, I probably won't use it all that much for the reason that I just said. If I'm staying home all day and I'm not leaving the house, then maybe I might throw on a lip gloss occasionally, but most of the time I can't stand them. They drive me nuts. So didn't get any of the lip glosses. And then there were 3 liquid eyeliners. I don't use liquid eyeliner. I know that the trend is to do winged liners on your upper lid, and that's just not how I like to do eyeliner. I love to put eyeliner on my waterline, borderline waterline, lash line, and then my tight line. That's just the way I like to do eyeliner. I like that look as opposed to the big wing on the top thing. So I didn't get any of the liquid eyeliners because I don't use it. So that's it. That's the collection. So I just decided to go with the brush and the 3 eyeshadow palettes. You know, in every limited edition collection that Wet n Wild does, there's always that one standout product. For me, it was the brush. I love this, and I'm so glad that I was able to get it. There's only 2 on each display, but all the products are still on their website. So if you can't find the collection in stores, or there's a certain product that you wanted and you can't find it in stores, or it's sold out or something on the display, you can get all these things on their website. And I've ordered from Wet n Wild multiple times, and I've never had any problems or issues with the orders that I placed with them. So don't be afraid to do that. The Goth-O-Graphic collection, the last collection before this one, the standout product was definitely the Moon Tears loose highlighting powder. This is so gorgeous. I hope you guys got that when that was part of that collection. It is what I'm wearing for my highlight today. You know what? Let me adjust the lighting and come back because it seems to be a bit off, and I want you to see what this highlighter looks like. It's kind of a tough day weather-wise for filming, but there it is right there. Yeah, I just think this is the most beautiful, like, pale gold, but it's not like the other pale gold highlighters that I have. There's something different about it, and there's a ton of product in there. It's going to last me forever. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next week, most likely. So have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.